All right, guys. So here we are. We're out at Salt Run. We made our way out towards the jetties. It was low tide, so we couldn't really fish the docks that we wanted to go and fish. So as we were headed out towards the jetties to try to see if we could find some trout hanging out there, we seen this slick that was out there, and basically birds were diving. All right, and in that slick, you could tell like there was pieces of basically bait fish that were almost making that water a little bit more slick, oily, I guess is what you could say it looked like. So we were casting over into that oil slick, and we were getting bit off on our line and our soft plastics. So I threw on a catch 2000, a hard bait. When I was first initially retrieving it, I was almost moving it like a top water, and then I went to a straight retrieve, which is what I'm doing right here. And that straight retrieve is basically what enticed that bite. So in there, we were thinking that there was probably Spanish. These were actually bluefish that we caught. I actually caught 2 bluefish on this lure. One did pop off, and then I had the other that I ended up that stayed on, and then I took them off of the hard bait. But that's all we were doing, was we were just tossing right into that little slick that we seen. And as long as you were working the lure, like the paddle tails that we were using before I went to this hard bait, we were just casting it out, hitting it pretty quick with a steady, fast retrieve. And they were hitting it, but like I said, they were cutting us off, so we knew it was either Spanish or blues, and it happened to be blues that we were getting. So threw on that hard bait just so try to limit that cutoff, and sure enough, it worked. Right after this one though, the Dolphins came in and pretty much kind of sealed the deal on being able to catch any more fish in this area. But you can see as I'm taking this bluefish off, my buddy that I was fishing with, he was actually catching a bluefish, which it will show it right here in just a second when I change this camera angle. Right here, you can see he's actually hooked up with one right here, which he's getting that one in. So just kind of hit the perfect timing in that little frame. But they were definitely hitting very quick until, like I said, those Dolphins came in and kind of completely shut the bite off. So when that bite did shut off, we ended up going over right here. You see to my left the jetties. We actually headed towards the end of the jetties. Got a couple of short strikes, couldn't really get on anything. So as we were making our way back down, because the tide started coming in to go fish some of the flats, I figured I'd just troll while I'm on my way back. So on the right side, I had the catch 2000. As you move the catch 2000 a little bit, it actually digs down deeper, so it probably goes about 3 foot deep. And on the left side, which did get hit, was a Z-Man diesel minnow Z, the 4-inch, and this ended up being a not a huge jack, but a fairly decent size jack, which are always fun to catch. The bad thing about trolling with two rods right here is obviously you gotta reel one in, that way you don't get tangled up, especially with how the current moves over by the inlet and the jetties. So I'm trying to keep tension on the one line while I get the other one in, especially because that other one is the catch 2000 that has all those treble hooks on it. So I didn't want that one just sitting out there and getting hung up and tangled up and everything. So we get this jack in, and when that jack hit, I was looking at my depth finder, my fish finder, and I seen this crest. So you could see the arches go up, and then it came back down. And so when I seen that, I kind of figured that there was decent fish there, but since we hadn't really got a solid hit, wasn't sure if we were gonna get anything, but I figured it had to be the jacks that were staging up in those arches that I seen, that little peak. So after I get this jack off, we ended up turning around and going back and trying to find those little crest, or the fish that were on the depth finder. And as soon as we found them, we would obviously toss our lures out there. I stuck with the paddle tail, and then the buddy that I was fishing with, he actually went to a shrimp lure, the USA Power Prawn, and both lures were getting hit. And I think there was a mixture. Like anytime you're fishing at the jetties, it's always a you can always get a mixture of different fish. So as you can see, like he was marking, I was marking. I tossed right there behind his, didn't toss it very far, just kind of right there to the rocks, and was letting that the tide kind of bring it down as I'm working it a little bit. And sure enough, a ladyfish hit it. So all in all, it was a great day. We fished the flats after this. Couldn't really couldn't find a bite. We could not find the reds. We did hit a deeper hole that we seen. We were marking fish, figured it was probably trout. Could not get them to hit whatsoever. So these were only fish that we caught today. Luckily, we did decide to make this move though, which allowed us to get on fish and not get skunked.